Hello everyone, how are you all? My name is Yashika Arora and I'm pursuing Masters in Commerce. Along with that, I did my Bachelor's in Education also. And if you're talking about my experience, I'm having my experience as an offline educator for 3 years. And if you are talking about the online education, I'm having experience for more than 2 years. So yeah, if I'm talking about, what I'm going to teach you, it's 8th class math subject, right? And we are having 16 chapters over here in NCRT. I just divide each chapter according like how much time I will take for particular chapter. Okay, so let's quickly move ahead with the first chapter we are having over here is rational number, right? So what is rational number? Firstly, we're going to learn about this one, like what is properties, representation, and all of these things we're going to learn in this rational number, like how we can represent that, rational number over number line also. And rational number, how many rational numbers we are having between, two rational number. So I will take 4 hours for this particular chapter, so you will get the concept will get clear to you easily. Okay, so if I'm talking about chapter number 2, it's linear equation in one variable, and we will take 6 hours for this particular chapter, and it's a very interesting chapter. Yes, we're going to learn about this particular portion of linear equation in one variable at the end of this video. Yeah, so stay tuned. Okay, so we're gonna learn about some more application and how we can say it would be a one variable linear equation and what is linear equation. We're gonna learn about all these stuffs in this particular chapter. That's why I'm just taking 6 hours over for this one. We will do some quiz for this one, and we will do some practice question for this particular chapter. Okay, so the next chapter, if I'm talking about, is chapter number 3, which is understanding quadrilateral. I will take 3 hours for this particular chapter. Why I'm taking 3 hours? Because I'm having, polygon, some of measurement of the exterior angles, and kind of the quadrilateral we are having over here. That's why I'm just taking 3 hours for this particular session. It's a very easy chapter, and we're gonna learn about, how many different types of quadrilateral we are having over here. Okay, so if I'm talking about chapter number 4, we are having as a practical geometry. What is practical geometry? Like how we can say it would be a geometry, and like what about the introduction of this particular chapter? We're gonna learn about this particular chapter in 4 hours. I will take 4 hours for this particular chapter. Constructing a quadrilateral, how we can construct a quadrilateral, and some special cases also. Okay, after that, I will quickly move ahead towards chapter number 5, which is data handling. In this particular chapter, we will, draw some pie chart, circular graph and pie chart are, the same thing. So the grouping data, firstly, we will organize that particular data, then group that particular data, and then, we will do a lot of things with that particular, data, the raw data, we can say. Okay, some chances and probability we're going to learn about in this particular chapter, which is chapter number 5, data handling. And if you're talking about, how much time I will take for this particular chapter, it would be 5 hours. Yes, so 5 hours would be, convenient for this particular chapter. And we're gonna learn about this chapter a lot morely. Why? I will provide you a lot of, new questions. Okay, so if I'm talking about square and square roots, I am taking 6 hours over for this one. Why I'm taking 6 hours for this particular chapter? Yes, because we're going to learn about some properties of square root, how we can find square root, and some more interesting patterns, like for some more interesting facts, you can say, right? And finding square of that particular number, what is square root, what is perfect square, and how we can estimate square root. That's why I'm just taking 6 hours for this particular chapter, and it's a chapter number 6, and I'm taking 6 hours over there. What a coincidence. Okay, so if I'm talking about chapter number 7, we are having it as a 5 hour. Why I'm taking it as a 5 hour? It's, it's the same as the previous one chapter, which is, square and square root, but in this particular chapter I'm having cube and cube root, right? So you can say that cube and cube root, and how we can find the perfect cube and cube root of that particular question, right? So this would be the 5 hours. Okay, so the next one would be chapter number 8, and this would be the trickiest one, you can say, because a lot of students, think that this particular chapter is very tricky, but it is not. We will take, 10 hours for this particular chapter. Why we are taking 10 hours for this particular chapter? Because it's a tricky one, it's an interesting one. We have to, we have to give some time for this particular chapter. That's why we are, just devoting our 10 hours for this particular chapter. Why? We will do discount, profit and loss, VAT, GST, and deducting compound interest. We are having compound interest over here, simple interest over here. So that's why we are using just chapter number 8 as a comparing quantity. And I will, use 10 hours for this particular chapter. Then, oh my God, this chapter is a very interesting algebraic expression if I'm talking about, and we are having identities over here also. So if I'm talking about, this chapter number 9, I will take 8 hours for this particular chapter. It's not that much lengthy chapter, but yeah, you will gonna learn about a lot of things over this chapter. How? You will learn about, what is expression, what is factor and coefficient, polynomials, binomials, monomials, and how we can add all the algebraic expression, and what I will do after, multiplying monomial and binomial and polynomial, and all these things we're going to learn in this particular session. What is an identity, standard identities, and how can we apply that in indices, right? So we can say this chapter number 9 is very important, is if you're expecting it in like grade 9th and grade 10th. So yeah, this is a very important topic for for the aspect of grade 9 and grade 10. Okay, so if I'm talking about grade, chapter number 10, chapter number 10, I'm having as a visualizing solid shapes. So we are having, some 3D shapes over here also, and how we can visualize this solid shape. We are having a lot of things over here. We are having this 10.4 over here, that which says faces, edges, and vertices. What is that, right? We are having a lot of formulas for this one. Okay, so we are not taking that much time for this particular session, for this particular chapter, but it would be 5 hours. The minimum would be 5 hours. If I'm talking about mensuration, it is the one of the most important chapter and the interesting chapter, you can say. Here we're gonna learn about the surface area of cube, cuboid, cylinder, cube, cuboid, cylinder, and we will learn about volume of that particular shapes also. So area of trapezium, journal, quadrilateral, polynomial, solid shapes, capacity, and volume. What are these things? That's why I'm just taking the maximum time over here, which is 10 hour. And this would be the better one, right? We're going to learn about a lot of things in this particular chapter, and it is a very important chapter. Okay, let me just quickly move ahead with the next chapter, which is chapter number 12, and it is exponents and power. This one is also very important chapter, or the the interesting chapter, you can say. It is very interesting chapter, right? So if you are talking about interesting chapter, how is that important and interesting, both of that, right? We're gonna learn about the negative exponents, powers, and some laws of exponents is very important. It would be helpful in your grade 9th and grade 10th also. So yeah, we're gonna learn about some standard form also. All these stuffs we're gonna learn in this particular session will helpful in grade 9th and 10th also. So be sure. Okay, if I'm talking about chapter number 13, it would be direct and inverse proportion, and I will take 7 hours for this particular chapter, and it's a very easy chapter, right? If I'm talking about the 14th one, it's a factorization, important chapter with interesting also. What we will do, algebraic expression is the basic concept for this one, right? We learned in our previous slides also. Okay, so what is factorization and how we can do the division with the algebraic expression, right? I will take 9 hours for this one. Okay, so if I'm talking about chapter number 15, it would be the introduction to the graphs, and how we can say different graphs. We learn about that and some applications over there also, and linear graph also. I will take 5 hours for this particular chapter, and this would be the last, I think so it would be last. No, it wouldn't be last. You can say chapter number 16 would be the last one. Playing with number would be the last chapter, right? In this chapter, we're going to learn about some introduction and what would be the journal form. We will play a game with numbers also, some test of divisibility. So it would be of 4 hours. I'm devoting 4 hours over this chapter, right? So this would be the last chapter, you can say, but you can't say it would be the least one because it's an interesting chapter, you can say. Okay, so this is how I'm completing my 100 hour, right? 100 hours, and I just divide every chapter, right? I just divide each and every chapter, and I just devoted that particular time period to that chapters. Okay, so let me just quickly move ahead with the next topic. I just promised you in the previous slide that I will teach you about this linear equation in one variable, right? So what is linear equation? If I'm talking about equation, if I'm talking about ma'am, if I'm talking about equation, we are having left hand side over here and right hand side over here also. अब हमारे पास left hand side होगा और right hand side होगा और equal का sign होना, it's very mandatory, right? That's why you can say it would be an equation. Linear कैसे मैम? Highest power मैम हाईएस्ट पावर जो होगी वो हमारे पास वन होगी, ठीक है। लीनियर इक्वेशन इन वन वेरिएबल यू कैन से, जहां पे हमारे पास इक्वेशंस कैसी होंगी? वन वेरिएबल होगा। वन वेरिएबल मतलब वेरिएबल क्या होता है मैम? वेरिएबल हमारे पास क्या आ जाता है बच्चे? जहां पे हमारे पास लोअर केस अल्फाबेट्स आते हैं। एक्स हो गया, वाई हो गया, राइट, हमारे पास ए हो गया, बी हो गया, ये सारे हमारे वेरिएबल्स हैं, राइट। यू कैन से 5x plus 4 is equals to 0 would be the linear equation in one variable. Is that so? Yes. Yes. Why? Because we are having x as a one variable over here. 5x plus 4 is equals to 0. Okay. What about the next one? What about the next one? It would be 3x plus 5 is equals to 0. Okay, that's great. This would be the linear equation. Ma'am, if I'm talking about some questions, how we can solve this particular question? Yes, let us quickly do some questions regarding this one. We are having, how can we solve this particular linear equation, right? You can say, okay, so if I'm talking about, how can I solve 15 plus x is equals to 5x plus 3? It would be, I will just shift this 5x towards the left hand side, and this 15 would be shifted towards the right hand side. It would be 5x minus 5x because we are having 5x on the left hand side as a positive one. That's why जब हम उसे left hand side लेके जाएंगे वो negative में हो जाएगा. Plus x is equals to plus में 3, then negative 15 we are having. Why? क्योंकि positive 15 था left hand side में, जब right hand side में गया तो वो negative हो गया. So it would be minus 4x is equals to minus 12. मैम x would be equals to minus 12 upon में minus 4. Yes, यहाँ पे multiply हो रहा है तो right hand side जाके divide हो जाएगा. So the answer would be 3. So x is equals to 3. It's very easy, ma'am. That's great. Okay, let us quickly move towards the next question. It's a very easy one. Okay, just quickly try it. So 3x plus 2 by x plus x minus 6 we are having over here. X minus 6 I'm having over here. Right, okay, is equals to minus 7. What we will do, यहाँ पे हम denominator में 1 लिख देंगे. We will do the cross multiplication. This would be 3x plus 2 is equals to my minus 7 multiply x minus 6, and we will multiply this 7 with 6 and x. हम दोनों के साथ multiply करेंगे. This would be 3x plus 2 is equals to minus 7x plus में 42. Now 42 right hand side में चला जाएगा, right hand side में या left hand side में? Left hand side में जाएगा मैम. Positive 2 minus 42 is equals to minus 7x minus 3x. So this would be minus 40 is equals to माइनस 10x मैम. अब यहाँ पे 10x माइनस माइनस 10x जो है वो मल्टीप्लाई हो रहा है, वहां पे जाके डिवाइड हो जाएगा. इट वुड बी माइनस 40 डिवाइडेड बाय माइनस 10. द आंसर वुड बी, मैम आंसर तो हमारे पास 4 आ गया. दैट्स ग्रेट. सो दिस वुड बी द आंसर एंड दिस इज वेरी इजी, वेरी इजी. दिस चैप्टर इज वेरी इजी. सो आई एम जस्ट, and at last I will thank you for watching my video and have a nice day. Bye bye everyone. Have a nice day. Bye bye.